Welcome back to the A Clan a Day podcast brought to you by bagtownclans.com. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald, and today we're turning our attention to Clan Dunbar, a family with deep Celtic roots and a storied history in both the Scottish Lowlands and Northumbria. The Dunbars, with their origins dating back to the 11th century, have played significant roles in the political, military and ecclesiastical life of Scotland, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's history. Let's dive into their journey. The origins of the Dunbar family begin with Gospatric, grandson of Crinan the Thane, a powerful figure in Scotland. Gospatric was the nephew of King Duncan's son and became the Earl of Northumberland, a prestigious title he inherited from his father. However, in 1072, after a turbulent relationship with William the Conqueror, Gospatric was stripped of his title and fled to Scotland, where King Malcolm III granted him lands in Lothian, including the earldom of Dunbar. Thus, Gospatric became the first Earl of Dunbar, establishing a lineage that would last for centuries. Gospatric's descendants continued to play key roles in Scottish history. His son, Gospatric II, witnessed the foundation of Holyrood Abbey in 1128 and made significant donations to Kelso Abbey, enhancing the family's influence in the region. By the late 12th century, another Patrick of Dunbar, a descendant of Gospatric, married Ada, the daughter of King William the Lion, further cementing the Dunbars' royal connections. This Patrick was also named Justiciar of Lothian, a high judicial office that gave him substantial authority in the kingdom. The Dunbars' story is not without its legendary figures. In the 14th century, we meet Patrick, the 8th Earl of Dunbar, also known as the Earl of March. This Patrick was one of the many claimants to the Scottish throne during the Wars of Scottish Independence, but he ultimately withdrew his claim and swore allegiance to Edward I of England. While this might suggest divided loyalties, the Dunbars would later become staunch defenders of Scottish independence. Patrick's son, also named Patrick, swore fealty to Edward II of England, but eventually shifted his allegiance and signed the Declaration of Arbroath in 1320, asserting Scotland's right to independence from English rule. Perhaps the most famous member of Clan Dunbar is Agnes Randolph, also known as Black Agnes. The wife of Patrick, 9th Earl of Dunbar, Agnes became renowned for her defence of Dunbar Castle during a brutal siege by English forces in 1338. For 5 months, Black Agnes commanded the defence, famously mocking the English efforts to breach the walls. When the English siege engine, known as a sow, approached the castle, she ordered heavy stones to be hurled at it, successfully destroying the machine. Her fearless leadership earned her a place in Scottish history as one of its greatest heroines. As the 15th century dawned, the Dunbars reached the zenith of their power, but this century also marked the downfall of their earldom. Patrick, the 9th Earl of Dunbar, held vast estates, including the earldom of March and the earldom of Moray, which he had acquired through his marriage to Agnes Randolph. However, the lack of a male heir led to the titles and lands passing to his sister-in-law Isabella and eventually to her sons George and John Dunbar. George became the 10th Earl of Dunbar in March, while John became the Earl of Moray, continuing the family's legacy of prominence. Yet their vast wealth and power drew the envy of King James I of Scotland, who, in 1435, seized the earldom from George, the 11th Earl of Dunbar, accusing him of treason. The Dunbars' lands were forfeited to the crown, marking the end of their earldom. Despite this loss, the family endured, with cadet branches like the Dunbars of Morecambe and Dunbars of Westfield continuing to thrive in Scotland, particularly in Moray. The Dunbars were not just warriors and nobles, but also played key roles in the religious and intellectual life of Scotland. Gavin Dunbar, a member of the Morecambe branch of the family, served as Archbishop of Glasgow and Lord Chancellor of Scotland under King James V. Another Gavin Dunbar from the Westfield family became Bishop of Aberdeen and tutor to the young King James V. These ecclesiastical leaders were instrumental in the governance of Scotland during a time of significant religious upheaval. In the modern era, the Dunbars have continued to hold prominent positions within Scottish society. Sir James Michael Dunbar, the 14th Baronet of Morecambe, is the current chief of Clan Dunbar. He is also a retired colonel in the United States Air Force, reflecting the Dunbars' continued prominence, not only in Scotland but also abroad. His title as Baronet of Morecambe was secured through a celebrated court case in the 1990s, reaffirming the Dunbar family's position as one of Scotland's noble clans. Throughout their history, the Dunbars have been known for their resilience, their fierce loyalty to Scotland, and their ability to navigate the complex politics of medieval and early modern Scotland. From their origins in Northumbria to their rise as one of the most powerful families in Scotland, the Dunbars' legacy is a testament to their enduring strength and adaptability. Thank you for joining us today on A Clan a Day podcast as we explored the rich history of Clan Dunbar. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another fascinating episode, and as always, I'm Colin MacDonald, wishing you safe travels and saying go nary and bother leet.